Hey everybody, this is Kenny C from Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, and I have an exclusive interview right here, right now. My guest at this time is an indie pro wrestler. I've actually interviewed her early this year at the UWF's Vix's Vixens Valentine show. She's one of my favorite wrestlers, and she's very talented. She's faced some of the most talented female wrestlers in the country. She's currently working for Ohio Valley Wrestling as well. Her second go around, I'm joined with Jessie Belle. What's going on, Jessie?
Not much. Kenny, how are you doing?
Doing real good. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
I had an awesome Thanksgiving. It was a very, very long weekend. I had a show up at 2 miles from the Canadian border in Michigan at the Keewaydin Casino. So I had a match versus ODB, and it was a very, very long drive, but hard match, but it was an awesome time.
How was that like being in the wing of ODB?
It was a lot of fun, you know. She got the better of me, but that's all right. I think I'll get her next time.
ODB, I'll tell you, she's something else. I tell you, Miss Bam and all that. But before we get into the present and the future, let's go back into the past. How did your wrestling career got started?
I started back in 2006. I think was the very first year I was licensed. A guy that I had met and was with for a while, he was a wrestler, and I pretty much, since I've always loved wrestling, but I didn't know how to get into it. When I was introduced to the independent level of wrestling, I was like, you have to get me into this. I'm going to learn how to do this now.
Do you remember the first wrestling match that you had? If so, who was your opponent and what was the company that you worked for?
Oh, yeah. My opponent it was actually a mixed tag match. The other woman in the match was Diane Van Hoffen, Moondog Fifi. I don't remember the names of the guys in the match. It was up in Memphis, Indiana, at the flea market for Bobo Brazil Jr. I don't remember the name of the company, but I remember whenever we came out to the ring, like me and my partner, we jumped up on the second turnbuckle, you know, when they introduced us, and the ropes fell. So we had to go back into the locker room, and they had to pause the show for like 30 or 40 minutes while they tried to fix the ropes and stuff. It was crazy.
Oh my goodness! The ropes actually fell off as y'all were just entering the ring.
Oh yeah, we jumped up on the ropes and they jumped down.
Oh my goodness! It's wrestling. Things happen, I suppose. But other than that, considering that it was your first match, did you got nervous? Did you get the butterflies considering that this is your first match and you're in the same ring with a wrestling legend such as Diane?
Oh yeah, no, I still get nervous like all the time whenever I go out into the ring. Just, you know, I think that's probably what makes it so great, makes it so exciting coming through the curtain, you know, those butterflies.
I think it was last year you lived in Florida and you did some wrestling shows there. What was it like not only living in Florida but wrestling at Florida?
I didn't like Florida. I didn't like living there. The shows were okay, you know. I wrestled for Florida Underground Wrestling, so there was a lot of really good names on that show, really, really big and very, very talented people in that locker room. So I was able to get a lot of really good feedback from people who had a lot of experience. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Florida. I won't ever go back.
So the only good thing about Florida is the warm weather, I suppose.
Yeah, that's me and Ryan say that all the time. The weather was nice, but that's about it.
And obviously, you now work for Ohio Valley Wrestling. I think this is your second go around with them. I do,
Yeah.
I do remember the OVW, the first go around. You teamed up with Mickey Lee Knuckles, formed a team called the Smother Twisted Daughters, and
I teamed up with Isabel Smothers, and we formed the team Smothers Twisted Daughters. Yes.
And I do remember the first match that y'all had. I think it was on OVW TV. You took on the Blossom Twins. You have obviously have worked with Mickey as a teammate and as an opponent. What was it like forming the team, the STDs?
It was awesome. Like, we had so much fun in that tag team. Like, I can't even begin to explain it to you. Me and Mickey were able to play off each other and, like, having worked together so much, like, we knew what each other was thinking and what we were going for as we were getting ready to do it. So it was just a lot of fun working with her. I love her. She's so super talented, and we had so much fun. So, like, hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to restart that fire.
Those were the days, let me tell you. I definitely enjoyed the STDs days. Y'all definitely a force to be reckoned with, not just individuals, but as a team. And how do you feel about your second go-around thus far with OVW?
I'm having an awesome time at OVW. It's definitely an honor to be a part of their locker room. You have so many talented girls in one place you don't usually have the chance to work with, and then you have the guidance of people like Al Snow, who's in the locker room, and it's just, I'm very lucky to be a part of that.
It's been about a year now, at least over a year, since Ohio Valley Wrestling became the developmental territory for Impact Wrestling, and obviously since then a couple of OVW talent has worked there, or either that or go through Gut Check. Alex Silver and Taylor Hendricks, they got their opportunities, and now they under contract with Impact. How do you feel about the relationship between OVW and Impact Wrestling thus far?
They have a great relationship. There's constantly talent from TNA coming into Ohio Valley. There's constantly people from the office that are going back and forth. OVW, I would say, is definitely the place you want to be if you are looking at getting that Impact contract, and that's the contract that I want to get. So, that's why I'm not going anywhere for sure. But yeah, all the time, if you watch Impact, they constantly reference Ohio Valley Wrestling, and so forth, and I think it's a pretty strong relationship.
After the success that they have had being developmental territory for WWE, it's pretty obvious that OVW is the Pearl Harvard of wrestling. If that's where you want to go to develop your talent before going to the next level, and obviously that's where you want to go at some point. You want to go in the big leagues. Gut Check. How do you feel about it? As far as the wrestlers getting an opportunity, what's your take on it?
I love Gut Check. I think that it is an ingenious idea. Like, I don't know who came up with it and whose idea it was, but that's brilliant. Throw them in the water and see if they can swim before you offer them a contract, rather than, look at a picture and see them in practice. I think Gut Check is a genius idea. It's one of many good steps in the right direction that TNA is taking. I think it's awesome.
I'm definitely looking forward to Jessie Belle getting her opportunity at Gut Check, and we definitely shall see that. It's obviously that's something to look forward to. I know you got a lot of shows coming up other than your involvement with OVW. I know for a fact that you'll be facing a familiar nemesis in Mary Elizabeth Monroe and Covey Pro Wrestling for the women's title. Talk about some of the other wrestling shows you have coming up.
Yeah, well, like you said, I have Mary Elizabeth Monroe in for Covey Pro. It's actually Mary Elizabeth Hatfield for Covey Pro, the Hatfield and McCoy feud, and that is going to be December the 8th in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. On December the 7th, I'm going to be on the Heart Attack Tour in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and I'll be facing a girl named Barbie. She's from the Connecticut area here. She's a really tough chick, so I've definitely been watching her videos and stuff and keeping up with her. You got to study your competition. On the 28th of December, I'm going to be in San Antonio, Texas, for Revolutionary Wrestling World down there. And I think the 9th, I'll be returning to UWF in Georgetown. And other than that, like all the shows that you see posted on www.ovwrestling.com, I'm basically on all of those shows. Like, I'll be there in the building.
That's what I wanted to hear at the end. You're coming back to Georgetown. Definitely looking forward to that. You've been a part of them for quite a while. You've been a part of the Vixen shows as well, the all-woman wrestling shows. What do you like the most being a professional wrestler? Is it the traveling? Is it being with your fellow peers? The fan interaction? What do you like the most of being a wrestler?
It's a little bit of everything, you know. I love traveling and going on the road, but I love just being in the ring and competing and being able to entertain fans. You know, that's what I strive to do. I sit and think about how I'm going to better myself, better my character and everything all the time, just to entertain, you know, the fans that are coming out to the shows. Without them there, you know, there ain't no reason to do what we do. So I definitely enjoy being able to meet them and speak with them, from ones that are all over the country, which maybe have been talking to me on Facebook or on Twitter for, you know, months or years, and they finally get to, like, see me whenever I come into a promotion near them, and that's always really cool.
Do you, by any chance, watch your matches on YouTube and obviously on OVW television? And if so, do you kind of critique yourself on what you done right and what you can improve on?
I always watch my matches. Like, I wish that I had every single match that I've ever done that was put up on YouTube or, you know, OV Wrestling, so I could pick myself apart, because I'm constantly finding things that I could have done better, could have done differently, that would have made it a better match or a better show.
You have wrestled with some of the most established female wrestlers in the country, from Sarah Del Rey to Mickey Lee Knuckles to Mary Elizabeth. I mean, the list goes on and on, whether it's on actual shows or custom wrestling tapings. But who is it out there that you haven't had a chance to work with, but you'd like to be in the ring with someday?
Let's see. That's a good question. I would definitely have to say Natalia Neidhart or Betsy.
Oh, you said Natalia?
Yeah, Natalia or Beth Phoenix.
Oh, Beth Phoenix. That's definitely gonna be interesting. Obviously, Beth Phoenix has parted ways. Natalia's still there with the WWE, and I've always said this on the shows, like, the women are nice, but their matches are short, and it's just nothing intriguing about it compared to the Impact roster. With their knockouts, sure, a lot of knockouts have come and gone, but they still have a stacked field with talented wrestlers. From a fan standpoint, how do you feel about the knockouts and the divas and the direction that they're going with those divisions?
I'm a huge fan of TNA and their knockout division. I think they have some of the most talented women in the country. They have definitely by far the best worldwide televised women's matches that's going on right now. So as far as a choice of, if I had Dixie Carter and Vince McMahon standing side by side saying, we want you, I would definitely go with Dixie Carter, even if there was a huge difference in the money, because it's not really the money that's important. It's, you know, being able to perform and do what I love that's important. WWE has, I mean, what can you say? They're the number one federation in the world. They have incredibly talented people that are leading and guiding the women's division. I think they just don't really care about their women's wrestling right now. You know what I mean? Like, I think they just don't give the women the time, and they're not using them as an asset and as an accredited place for competition as they are like all of the guys. They added a whole hour to the show, and the girls are still having 3-minute matches. So I'd like to see that change. I'd like to see a little bit more credibility go back to the women's division in WWE. But right now, it's, you know, I almost don't even watch it or pay attention at all, just because for me that's not entertaining.
I definitely understand where you're coming from. I will say that Sarah Del Rey being there, and maybe there's hope, but I'm not going to hold my breath until she actually get into the main roster. And they do have talented wrestlers from FCW and NXT. I guess until they get their opportunities, I'm not going to hold my breath and think they'll be resurrected. Impact has a good thing going with their division. So it's just a matter of wait and see at this point. Why don't you go ahead and promote your links, how people can get in touch with you, Facebook, Twitter, or any other links out there?
Yeah, definitely come and follow me on Twitter. You can find me at Jessie Belle, JESSIEBELLE, or you can find me on Facebook, and that's just Jessie Belle. Right now I'm in the runnings for the Indie Divas Diva of the Year. They have a humongous poll with a whole bunch of questions, and you're making your nominations to be Spidey, SPIDEY 1972 at yahoo.com. So if y'all could send him an email and tell him you want Jessie Belle to be the Independent Diva of the Year, or Babe of the Year, or Wrestler of the Year, that would be awesome. Check out ovwrestling.com, and you can see the feud that me and Taylor Hendricks had, and lots of other stuff that's going on there. But otherwise, you know, send me a tweet, send me a message. I'd love to talk to you guys and let you know what I got going on.
I'll make sure to nominate you in multiple categories. You know, I'll make sure, because we need a Kentucky girl out there to at least be in contention. So yes, nominate Jessie Belle, and once they reveal the nominations, vote for her. Damn it, Kentucky represent. That's all I gotta say. So what do you like the most as far as character-wise? Do you like being the baby face, or do you like being the heel?
You know, it just completely determines or depends on where I'm at. Like, obviously, when I'm home here in Kentucky, I always like to be the good guy. You know, I'm in a good mood. I'm happy to be here. So, you know, I tend to be in a really good mood. But if I'm going to places like West Virginia and certain spots in Tennessee, it just pisses me off to be there, so I like to be the bad guy. And depending upon the bands, I have an equal amount of enjoyment out of being either one wherever I'm at.
I noticed that you not only you done actual wrestling shows, but you also have wrestled for custom wrestling category companies, with the likes of Magnificent Ladies Wrestling, New Female England Wrestling, and Slamming Ladies out there in Florida. What do you like the most of working for those companies, even though there's no audience around the ring? It's just you and your opponents, depending on who's in there. What do you like the most of doing the custom wrestling shows?
Basically, the fact that I get a chance to work with women whom I probably wouldn't get to work with. And also, like, at those shoots, I mean, they're shooting match after match after match after match, and any kind of match, and you have all these different talents. So, I mean, lots of the time I'll be sitting off camera to the side somewhere and just watching, because, you know, you never stop learning, and by being able to watch people like, I mean, basically the whole Shimmer wrestling locker room will be at Slammin' Ladies at any given time, and then you have other veterans that are coming in like Diane Van Hoffman, like Leilani Kai, you know, that I wouldn't get a chance to see them work or to work with them if it wasn't for places like the custom matches. So I really just love being there and being able to watch people like, you know, like who I just mentioned, or like Brandy Wine, or you know, the very, very talented like Madison Eagles, Sarah Del Rey, you know, all of them. Anybody that you've seen in a custom match at any of these places, like if you know much about women's wrestling, I mean, there's really, really talented females that have all different types and genres of training from different locations, different trainers, different ways of working and wrestling that you know, it's just a great learning experience to be a part of those tapings, sit back and watch.
What I really like the most about them is that, like you said, it's probably the only chance that fans get a chance to see those dream matches, especially wrestlers. They get to face people that they're either a fan of or they idolize. I guess I wish there was more of those type of matches in, you know, other indie shows or whatever. But you do have Shimmer, you do have WSU, you do have Shine Wrestling. So I guess that's another way to see those quote unquote dream matches. Is that something you would consider at least having a match or two on for WSU, Shimmer, and Shine?
I would love to be a part of any of those shows. I'm actually trying to get a whole bunch of my videos together and get some matches and compile a DVD and send it in to for them to view and see if they would be willing to use me.
Shine, WSU, and Shimmer. Get the Kentucky girl on your shows. You won't be disappointed. And I guess my last question for you is, what would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler? What would your advice be?
Go hard or go home. Like, literally, if it's something that you just want to do because you think it might be fun or it looks cool, you're not going to make it, and it is not worth the pain and the stress that's on your body to mess around with. I mean, people are really getting hurt. If you want to do it and if you want to make it, you're going to have to literally give absolutely everything up to it. You need to diet, you need to work out, you need to get good gear, you need to get accredited training from somebody who has business training. You shouldn't be being trained by a small independent promotion that's, you know, run in your town by, you know, nameless people who've never really gone out there and done something with their life. You need to go and look up a school such as Ohio Valley Wrestling, or even, Florida Championship Wrestling, but Ohio Valley, I would definitely say you will get much more rounded, thorough training from, just because they kind of throw people in and throw people out down there. But you need to give it your all, because it's not worth the time that you lose from your family, the toll that you take on your body, and just all the craziness that you go through if you're not trying to actually make it and move up and do something with it.
Jessie, let me just say, I've been a fan of yours for a long time. I respect everything you do in that ring, babyface or heel. You're one of the best in my opinion, and I'm just happy to see what you have done and accomplished up to this point. And you definitely have a friend in me and a fan in me, and I definitely wish you many success going forward. And again, thank you for a second interview this year. I truly appreciate it.
You are most welcome, Kenny. Thank you so much for following me and inviting me and giving me the chance to do your interview.
All right, everybody, follow Jessie on Twitter at @1JessieBelle, 1 as in the number 1, And check her out. Check out the upcoming shows. And check out Ohio Valley Wrestling TV tapings at 4400 Shepherdville Road, Louisville, Kentucky. Go to ovwrestling.com for the other upcoming shows they have. And oh yeah, the Saturday night special is the last Saturday night special of 2012. It's this Saturday, December 1st. So if you're in Louisville, check it out. Thank you everyone for listening. This will conclude the interview.
All right, and cast your vote for Indie Divas.
That's right.